Will now be recorded.
JavaScript on retrieve multiple.
Correct. So in the previous session, we discussed about the JavaScript, and we have seen how to write, retrieve multiple, and how to fetch the lookup values. Okay. So in today's session, we will be discussing about the ribbon customizations. So today's topic is ribbon customizations. Okay. So let me open the Excel. Okay. So yeah. So today's topic is ribbon customization. So ribbon customizations. Okay. Today's topic is ribbon customizations. Under this ribbon customization, so we will be discussing about adding adding a button or hiding hiding or showing a button using JS or rules. Okay. So we will be discussing about commands and commands, display rules, and enable rules. Okay. So we will discuss about them under ribbon customizations. See, so we actually in CRM we have three types of ribbons. How many types of ribbons we have? Three types of ribbons. What are those ribbons? Okay, so the first one is home grid ribbon, home grid ribbon, home grid ribbon. Second one is subgrid ribbon. Third one is third one is form ribbon. Okay, so in CRM we have three types of ribbons: home grid ribbon, subgrid ribbon, form ribbon. So where can we see these three ribbons, three types of ribbons? Okay, so let me go to CRM and show you. Okay, let's click on the claim entity. Okay, see, when I click on claims, what is happening? It is showing the list of claims, list of active claims. And you can see the buttons on the top. See, these are the buttons that I am talking about. So this ribbon, we will call it as home grid ribbon. So the first ribbon, home grid ribbon, this is the home grid ribbon. Okay. So when you click on any entity, let's say if I click on employees, it will display the list of employees. And the ribbon which is showing up here is any field, any view, you have to make changes in the home grid ribbon. Okay, so that is home grid ribbon. So what is the second one? Subgrid ribbon. What is subgrid ribbon? Let's say if you go to contacts, okay, wherever you have the subgrids, there is a ribbon there. Okay, I'll show you. We have contacts. When I click on what type of ribbon it is? This one. Just now we.
Sir, your voice is not audible in between.
Aha, okay. Okay, let me reconnect. Okay, you stay in the call. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, fine. See, we are talking about three types of ribbons that we have. Okay, so we have three types of ribbons, and those are home grid ribbon, subgrid ribbon, form ribbon. Okay, home grid, subgrid, and form ribbon. Where can we see home grid ribbon? See, when you click on any entity, any particular entity, let's say if I click on contacts, it is displaying list of contacts, and the ribbon which is showing up on here
Sir,
is home
uh,
grid. Yeah.
Eventually, didn't share.
It's not showing in the screen.
Aha, okay. Able to see?
Yes, sir. No.
Yep. Okay, fine. See, again, I'm repeating. So we have three types of ribbons. Okay, first one is home grid, second one is subgrid, third one is form ribbon. So where can we see the home grid ribbon? When you click on any particular entity, let's say if I click on contacts, it is displaying the list of contacts. And the ribbon which is showing up on the top is home grid ribbon. This is home grid ribbon. Okay, so when I click on claims, it will display the list of claims. These are the list of claims, and the ribbon which is showing up on the top is home grid ribbon, right? So what is the second one? What is the second one that we have? Subgrid ribbon. Where can we see the subgrid ribbon? See, wherever we have a subgrid, there we can see the subgrid ribbon. So let's say, let me show you. So let's click on contacts. So these are the list of contacts. Let's open any contact. Click on any contact. So when I click on any contact, it is showing the contact information. This is contact first name, last name, etc. When I click on related, let's click on related. See, I want to see the list of claims. Let's click on claims. Okay, how many claims it is associated to?
Okay.
It is associated to two claims, right? See, and you can also observe that there is a ribbon here. So this ribbon is different. This ribbon is related to which entity? This ribbon is related to which entity? It is contact entity. But the ribbon which is showing up here, new claim, add existing claim, this is related to which entity? It is related to claims entity. Okay, this is called subgrid ribbon. See, wherever you have a subgrid, this is a subgrid, right? Wherever you have a subgrid, on top of that, you can see the subgrid ribbon. Let's say if you want to add any button here, if you want to add any button here, then where you need to update or where you need to add, you need to go to, this is claim related subgrid ribbon, right? So you need to go to claim entity and add the button there. Add the button in the subgrid ribbon because this is subgrid ribbon. Okay, you got the point? You understood, right? What is a subgrid ribbon? So wherever you have a subgrid of that particular entity, on top of that, you will be having a subgrid ribbon. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's move on to the last one, which is form ribbon. Okay, the last one is form ribbon. So where can we see the form ribbon? Okay, first of all, when I click on claims, it is showing the list of claims. So which ribbon is this? Is this one?
Home, home grid.
Main. Home grid.
Yeah, home grid. This is home grid ribbon. So when I open any particular record, let's say if I open any claim, okay, see, this is one of the claim that I opened, and you can see the ribbon on the top. Okay, this is a different ribbon. This ribbon we will call it as a form ribbon. See, form ribbon is specific to a particular record. When you open any particular record, on top of that record, you can see the form ribbon. Okay, so it is same for all the entities. Let's say I clicked on contacts. When I open any contact, on top of the contact, you can see the form. This is form ribbon for contact. When I click on employee, when I open any employee, on the top of that particular employee, you can see the form ribbon. This form ribbon is related to employee entity. So each and every entity contains three types of ribbons: home grid ribbon, subgrid ribbon, and form ribbon. Okay, all the entities will have the same thing. If I go to accounts, accounts has this one. This is home grid ribbon. When I open it, it will have form ribbon. This is form ribbon. Okay, and if you have a subgrid anywhere on the any entity, if you have subgrid of account, you can see the subgrid ribbon there. Okay, so now you know that you have three types of ribbons, and what we will do, we will try to add a button. Okay, now what we will do, we will try to add a button. We will try to add a button on form ribbon. Okay, try to add a button on form ribbon. Where can we see the form ribbon? Where can we see the form ribbon? When I open any particular record, see, this is claims records. When I open any claim, on the top, you can see the form ribbon. This is form ribbon, right? So let's try to add a button here. Somewhere here in this particular ribbon, I wanted to add a button called approval or approve. So I wanted to create a button called approve. Okay, so the name of the button is approve. What is the name of this button? Deactivate. What is the name of this one? New. Like that, I wanted to create a button called approve. Okay, you understood, right? And when I click on that approve, so what we will do, we will create one field called status. Okay, so let's create one field called status. So now I am on entity called claim. I wanted to create a field called claim status. I don't know whether we have it or not.
Already we
Let's,
are having one status.
where do we have?
Actually, you didn't add
I,
it.
I haven't created, I think.
No, created sir, but you didn't add it.
It is there. Okay, let's check if we have a. Okay, first let's go to this particular entity called claim. Okay, go to settings. So copy, paste, settings, true. Okay, let it open. Let's click on settings, solutions, go to the solution, Walmart solution. So expand entities, claim entity, go to forms, open the main form. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, so let's check if we have the status field. Or we have the status, but this is a different status. I want client status. Claim status field. It is not available in this. Okay, let's click on new field. So this is okay. Or I wanted to give the name like status of claim. This is the name. So this should be option set. Okay, I wanted to keep it like approve. First value is approve. Second value is rejected. Okay, approve and rejected. Okay, so let's click and I am creating this field. I want to add this field on the form. I created that field on claim entity. Okay, now I can see the status of claim. So add this field here, or I wanted to add it in the header. Double click on the header. Where do we have status of claim? This is status of claim. Let's keep it here. You can remove this field from here, save it, publish. Okay, now we are publishing the customizations. Okay, now it got published. Let's go back to the record and refresh. Okay, this is your record and refresh. Now you can see the status of claim field on the header. See here, status of claim. Okay, status of claim is approve or rejected. So my requirement is I wanted to create a button on the form. See, this is form button, right? So I wanted to create a button called approve. When I click on that particular button, the status of the claim should be approved. The status of the claim should be select as approved. So I'm repeating the requirement again. I first requirement is I want a button on the form ribbon. This is form, and the ribbon which is showing up on the top is form ribbon. So on this form ribbon, I wanted to create a button. I wanted to have a button called approve. And when I click on that approve button, what should happen? This field, the status of the claim, should get updated as approve. Okay, everybody understood the requirement? Okay, can anyone repeat the requirement? Repeat the requirement.
In this form, we need to add the one button, the status
Uh,
approve. If you click that button, automatically the status claiming will be automatically uh,
uh,
shown as approve.
Correct, very good. So we are
Sir,
going to,
sir,
yeah,
for this we
yeah.
can select as a uh, only options that are we can take a, single line of text. We can.
It's up to you. It's up to you. Generally, it should be like approve or rejected or in progress, something like that, right? It will not
Hmm.
have more options. So we will go for option set. If you
Okay.
want to keep it as a text field, that is up to you. But that is not
Okay.
recommended. If you have options, better to go for option set.
If we have two more than two options, right? If we have only two, we can go for two options.
No, no. See, what is the problem with the text field? See, if I keep it as a text field, I have to update the string, right? Approve. I have to write it like approve, something like this. Approve, something like this. I have to do, right? What in
Correct.
case if I write it like approved, or if I mistakenly write like this, if approve, so
Hmm.
there will be a problem, right? It is not a valid text that I am keeping. It is not a constant text that I am keeping it, right? So you can't go for the single line of text in this case, because approve should be same value. Value should be similar for all the records. Whatever the record that you approved, it should have the same value. But if you keep it as a text field, if someone makes if they modify it manually, then it will be a problem. It is not a constant value, right? So we shouldn't go for single line of text. A better option is option set. Okay, so
Yes.
now we are going to add a button on the form ribbon, right? So the first step is adding a button onto the form ribbon. The name of the button is approve. Okay, see, first of all, if you want to make any changes to the button, with make changes to the ribbon, it might be a form ribbon or home grid ribbon or subgrid ribbon. It might be any ribbon. If you want to make changes to that particular ribbon, you need a ribbon workbench. you need to use one software called Ribbon Workbench. If you do not have this Ribbon Workbench, it is difficult for you to modify the ribbon. Okay, that is why first you need to check whether Ribbon Workbench solution is installed in CRM or not. If it is already installed, then you can use it. If it is not installed, you need to install into CRM. Okay, see why we need this Ribbon Workbench. So to make any changes to any ribbon, so we have three types of ribbons. If you want to make any changes to these three types of ribbons, you need a software called Ribbon Workbench. Without Ribbon Workbench, it is difficult for you to make changes on the ribbon. So first you need to check if this Ribbon Workbench software or solution is available in CRM or not. How to check if it is already available or not? So you need to go to solutions. So these are solutions. See here, I can check all the solution. You can check the name of the solutions. Say when I check the name of the solutions, you can see Ribbon Workbench solution is there, which means that it is already installed. So if it is already installed, I can directly use it. If it is not there, you have to install. Let's say I will show you from a starting point, okay? Because you might not be having this Ribbon Workbench in your CRM. And once it is installed, you can see a Ribbon Workbench icon here. If solution is imported into CRM, you can see this particular button under the solutions. If it is not there, this button will not be shown. Since it is installed, but this button is showing up. Okay, now I am going to uninstall this Ribbon Workbench. So select this Ribbon Workbench solution, delete it. You no need to delete. I am just deleting to show you how to install into your trial instance. Okay, if I already have it, I can't install it, right? So that is why I am uninstalling it first, and then I will show you from step one, like how to install it from Google. Okay, let it uninstall. Let it uninstall. Okay, it will take a few seconds. Okay, so now it got uninstalled. Okay, so when I refresh, this button also will go off. I just refreshed. Okay, now are you able to see the button? Button also gone because you do not have a ribbon workbench solution right now. So you, in your instance also, it will be similar. So now if you want to install ribbon workbench software or solution into CRM, I'll show you the steps how to install ribbon workbench solution into CRM. So first of all, you need to download this particular ribbon workbench solution from Google. You need to download this ribbon workbench solution from Google. Okay. So open Google, type MSCRM ribbon workbench download. Okay, MSCRM ribbon workbench download. Okay. So let's open the first, or you can open this also. Anything is fine. Okay, so this is XRM toolbox.plugins, this ribbon workbench. So from here, you can simply download the ribbon workbench solution. Okay, so now this is ribbon workbench. Let's see if you have a download option anywhere. Okay, where do we have the download option? Okay, fine. Here we do not see the download option. Okay, let's go to this particular link. This is ribbon workbench thing. Okay, so click on download. Okay, so simply enter Venkat. Okay, simply enter your email address, name, email address, and the latest, this one, Dynamics 365 Power Apps. You need to select this and agree, generate download link. So you need to click on download, and then you can see the download button here. Click on this particular download button. When you click on it, see it is getting downloaded. It is getting downloaded. You wait for that. Okay, now it is done. So when I go to the downloads, you can see the ribbon workbench solution. See, this is ribbon workbench solution, ribbon workbench 2016 version. Okay, this is managed solution. So now I installed ribbon workbench solution. Now I am going to install this into CRM. See, I just downloaded. I haven't installed. I just downloaded ribbon workbench from Google, and it is downloaded and it is under my local computer. Okay, now I wanted to install, or I wanted to import this particular solution file into CRM. Okay, now I wanted to import that solution into CRM. Okay, how to import? Now you are under settings and solutions. See here you have an import option. Okay, see when you mouse over on it, you can see an import option. Click on import. Click on choose file, which file you wanted to import. I just downloaded one file, right? That is ribbon workbench. Select that file, just click open, next, 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 import. Okay, now it is getting imported. Now it is getting imported. Okay, now it got imported. Click close. Okay, now you can see the solution, ribbon workbench solution, which got imported. So now there is no icon here, ribbon workbench icon or button. There is no icon here. So when you refresh it, you can see the button here. refresh after solution import, then you can see that button. Okay, now you can see the ribbon workbench is showing up. So click on this ribbon workbench. So when you click on ribbon workbench page is opening. So this is ribbon workbench. And what is the first thing that is asking when you click on the ribbon workbench? Load the solution. Okay, so it is asking load the solution. So we need to have a solution. So what is our requirement? Can anybody repeat the requirement?
The
What are
form
we?
ribbon, in the form ribbon, we need to
A
add
button.
status, approve button.
Button. So in the form ribbon, I wanted to add a button called approve. On which entity I wanted to add? Claim entity, right? So when I open the ribbon workbench, what is the first thing that it is asking? It is asking to load the solution. I do not have any solution. So first what you have to do, close this, go to solutions. This is solutions, okay? Create one new solution. Create one new solution. Okay, when you click on here, you can create a new solution. I am creating a new solution. So name of the solution is, I am giving, like, I am changing ribbon customizations, right? I am modifying the ribbon of claim. So I am giving the name like claim ribbon changes. So I am giving the name like this, claim ribbon changes. And a publisher, I can select the actual publisher, default publisher, and version, I'm giving the same version. Okay, so this is claim ribbon changes. Save. So now I created a solution. On which entity we wanted to add a button? On which entity we wanted to add a button? Claim. So you need to add that claim entity into this solution. First, I created a solution. Now I am adding a claim entity into this solution. Okay. So click on add existing entity. Okay. Which entity I should add? Claim. Okay, select a claim entity because I wanted to make changes onto this claim ribbon. So select OK. See, when you are adding a claim entity, you shouldn't have any forms, or you shouldn't have any views, or you shouldn't have any fields. You should add a plain entity. Okay, you shouldn't add any forms or views or fields. Nothing should be added into this solution. You should add only a plain entity. See here, this entity contains how many forms? 5 forms, right? This entity contains how many fields? 30 fields. But you shouldn't add any one of those into this particular solution. You should add a plain entity. So that is how to add a plain entity. Remove this. Add all assets. Remove. So when I remove it, nothing will be selected. Whatever I can select, that only will be added, but I am not selecting anything. And remove this also, include entity metadata. So now I am not adding any field or any chart or any view or any form. I'm adding a plain entity. Okay, let's click on, see here, I have 5 forms actually. Okay, let's click on finish. I'll show you. So here you select do not include required components. I don't want to include any required components. I just wanted to add a plain entity. Okay, now this is plain entity. Expand this claim entity. So how many forms we have seen before? 5 forms. When I click on the forms, you will not see any forms. When I click on the fields, you will not see any fields because we have not added those fields or forms into this solution. When you want to make ribbon changes, you shouldn't add any components which are specific to entity. You should add a plain entity into this solution. Now I have a solution called claim ribbon changes, and I have a entity called claim entity. Okay, so close this. Now I have a entity. Now I have a solution called claim ribbon changes. Now let's click on ribbon workbench. Now when I click on ribbon workbench, what it is asking? Load solution. Now I created a solution, right? What is my solution? Claim ribbon changes. This is my solution. Select this solution and load it. Now I am loading the solution which I created before. Okay, let's load that solution into the ribbon workbench. Okay, now you can see, let me maximize a little bit. Now you can see this is your ribbon workbench. This is your ribbon workbench. I told you, right, we have three types of ribbons. This is home grid ribbon. So this first one is home grid ribbon. Okay, and second one is subgrid ribbon. See, this is subgrid ribbon, and the last one is form ribbon. Okay, this is form ribbon. Which entity form is this? Which entity home grid is this? Which entity subgrid is this? It is related to, you can see the entity selected, which is here, claim entity, because we only have one entity in that solution. In that solution, we only added claim entity. So that is why it is only showing claim entity here. So claim entity related home grid, claim entity related subgrid, claim entity related form ribbon. Okay, now in which entity, sorry, in which form we have to add a button in our requirement? In which form we have to add a button? Which
Form
form?
ribbon.
Sorry, which ribbon?
Form.
Form ribbon. See, I wanted to add a button, approve or reject, approve button here. So I opened a claim record. This is claim record. I am on form. So on top of the form, you can see a ribbon. This ribbon, we will call it as form ribbon. So here I wanted to add a button called approve. So let's add a button. So now this is form ribbon. So this is form ribbon. Now I wanted to add a button onto the form. How to add a button onto the form? See, in the toolbox, under the toolbox, you have button option here. So just drag this button and drop it here. Just drag it and drop it here like this. See, a new button got created. I just dragged it and dropped it here under form ribbon. Under form ribbon. So now the name of this button is button 2. The name of this button is button 2. I wanted to change the name of the button. Okay. So what should be the name of the button? What should be the name of the button?
Approve.
Approve. So let's give the label as approve. Okay, see, when I drag this button and dropped it here, under buttons you can see this is the button that I added. So when you drag and drop it here, you can see a button which got added because I just added this. Okay, so I also wanted to change the name. So instead of button 2, I wanted to keep the name like approve button. ID of this button. ID of this button is approve button. Okay, and you also need to give alt text as approve. This is tooltip title approve, tooltip description. Tooltip description I am giving like this is used to approve the claim. Okay, so this button is used to approve the claim. So this is the tooltip description. What is the tooltip description? Let's say when I mouse over on the button, see, when I mouse over on the button, what it is showing up, save this claim. This is tooltip description. When I mouse over on this button, what it is showing, create a new claim record. So this is tooltip description. When we mouse over on it, it will show the description. That is tooltip description. So now I have given the tooltip description as this button is used to approve the claim. Okay. Now we just added a button. Now we added a button, right? So I just dragged it and dropped it here. So after that, what should we do? Once the button is added, what is the requirement? Let's say I have a button here. What should happen? Now you have a button. What should happen?
The claim status should be approved.
On click of that button, let's say I have an approve button, and when I click on that approve button, what should happen? The status of the claim should be approved. Okay, when I click of that button, I wanted to change the status of the claim to approve. So that is my requirement. So on click of that, I have to perform one action. Okay, on click of that, I have to perform one action. Okay, see, so this is a plain button that I have added here. So this is a just a plain button. If I publish this button will be shown, but when you click on that button, nothing will happen because I haven't told the system that when I click on that, it should update the status of the claim to approve, right? So now what you have to do, you have to add a command to this particular button. See, I just added a button. Okay, now this button will be shown. There is no problem. But when you click on that button, nothing will happen because we haven't written anything on this particular button that it has to perform this operation. So now you need to add a command. See here you have commands. Okay, you need to add one command. Why you need to add a command? Because I wanted to perform an action when I click on that button. Okay, so command is needed because when I click on that button, I wanted to update the status of the claim to approve. So that action should be performed. That is why I'm adding a command. Okay, see here you have a commands. Let's click on plus icon. So when I click on plus icon, you can see a command got added. This command is related to which button? This command is related to which button?
Approve button.
Approve. So this is
Approve.
approve command. This is approve command. So what should happen? Let's say when I click on this particular button, what should happen? It should update the field. Which field? Status of the claim. Status of the claim to approve. So I have to update a button. Okay, I have to update I have to update a field to approve. So this can be done using JavaScript. Okay, we on click of that field, on click of that button, you need to call a JavaScript, and in that JavaScript, we wanted to update a field called status of the client to approve. Okay, on click of that button, I need to trigger one JavaScript, and that JavaScript should update the status of the claim to approve. Okay, now we are going to write a simple JavaScript. Okay, so let's open Visual Studio. I will write a simple JavaScript to update a field. Okay, so let me open the Visual Studio. Let's click on File, New, File. So I have to select JavaScript file, open. Okay, so now I am opening a JavaScript file because I'm writing a JavaScript. Okay, so this is my JavaScript file. So let's add function. This is same function name of the function. Set name of the function is set status of claim. Set status of claim to approve. So this is my function name. Function name. Set the status of claim to approve. Open close, curly braces, open close. So this is my simple uh, function, right? This is simple JavaScript function. What should happen? Let's say I call this function. What should happen when I call this function? It should update the status of the client. It should update the status of the client to approve, right? So I need to update status of the client field to approve. Okay, see, I wanted to update a field. Okay, I wanted to update a field. Let's say if you don't know how to update a field, you can simply type it like mscrm js update option set field. This is an option set field, right? So you can simply type it like this. When you type it, you will get the answer. See, simply you have to write it like this. So using the form context, you need to get the attribute first. What is the attribute that we need to get? I wanted to update status of the claim. So you need to pass the status of the claim schema name here, set value. It should be set to which value? Approve value. Approve will be having a value. So that value you have to pass it here. But what you need first? What you need first? We need form context. Do we have a form context? In the function, do we have a form context? We do not have a form context. So first you need to get the form context. Okay, so form context can be, we can get the form context by using execution context, right? See, you need to pass execution context. Okay, you need to pass execution context here. Using the execution context, we can get the form context. See, in the ribbon, right, you can directly get the form context. So this shouldn't be a this shouldn't be execution context. This should be a form context. Directly you will get the form context. See, if you are triggering a javascript on a button, then directly you will get a form context. Instead of execution context, you will directly get the form context. In case of normal field, see, let's say if you have any on change event, or something like that, here you will not directly get the form context. Instead you will get the execution context. From the execution context, you have to write it like execution context dot get form context, then you will get the form context. But here when you are calling on a button, you will directly get the form context. Okay, and now what is the step to update a field? So this is the step to update a field. Copy it, paste it here. Okay, using form context, I am getting an attribute. What is the attribute that we need to update here? What is the attribute that we need to update?
Status of claim.
Status of claim. What is the schema name of it? Let's find it out. So you have a field here, status of claim. Get the unique name. So this is unique name Walmart underscore status of claim. Paste it here. And set value. Which value we need to set it here? It should be set to which value?
Approved value.
Approve. So you shouldn't type it like approve, something like this. You shouldn't type it like this. Approve will have a value. What is the value of approve? Let's click on edit. This is the field, status of claim field. This is an option set field. This is an option set field. Option set will have label and value. Let's click on approve. When I click on approve, so it has the label as approve, value as this value. So copy this value and paste it in the code. So you need to paste it here. You need to remove the spaces and commas. Now you are done. Now you are done. Simple. So when I click on that particular button, I will call this particular JavaScript function. Okay, I will call this particular JavaScript function. When I call this, it will run this code. What this code is doing, the status of claim, it is setting to approve. Now we are done. So I have written this particular JavaScript. I need to transfer this JavaScript into CRM. Okay, so I have written this code in my Visual Studio. Now I have to transfer this JavaScript into JavaScript file into CRM. So copy this file. Copy this code. Go to CRM. So this is your solution, Walmart CRM components. Let's click on web resources. So now you have web resources. You have claim.js, you have contact.js. Since I have claim.js, I am opening the claim.js. Click on text editor. So at the last, I am pasting this code. Simple. So I am not creating another JS file for this. If you want, you can create. You can also use the existing one. I already have climb.js. Why I need to create another one? So I am reusing the climb.js. So I opened the climb.js. I pasted the code which I have written. So click OK. Now my code is in which file? Climb.js or Walmart underscore climb. So save it, publish it, publishing the customizations. Now this is my JavaScript. Now I have written the JavaScript and my JavaScript is under Walmart underscore climb.js in this file. So now let's go back to the ribbon workbench. So this is ribbon workbench, right? What we have done? I added a command. This is my command. So this is the ID of the command. Okay. So the command has an action. See, command has an action. So in this action, what should we do? We need to call a JavaScript. In this action, in this command has an action. Okay, it has an option to add an action. So here I am going to add one action, JavaScript action. I am going to call JavaScript function. Click on add action. Okay, JavaScript action, JavaScript action. So what is a library? Library means in which file we have JavaScript. In which file we have a JavaScript? Walmart underscore climb. So this is our library, right? See, in this file only we have the JavaScript. See, let me show you. See, this is the file, right? Walmart underscore climb. So this is our JavaScript file. So when I click on text editor, you can see the code here. So this is the place where we have written the code. And what is the function that we need to call here? What is the function that we need to call? Set a status of climb to approve. So this is the function. What is the function that we need to call? So this is the function that we need to call. Copy this function name. And here function name, you will give it as same function name. Set the status of climb to approve. This is the function name that I wanted to call. And is it expecting any parameter? Is it expecting any parameter? This function. Is it expecting any function? You guys with me? Hello?
Sir.
Yeah, this function, is it expecting any parameter?
Yes, sir. Set status of climb to.
So this function is expecting a parameter. What is the parameter? Form context. So it is expecting to pass a form context as a parameter. So we need to pass form context as a parameter. So here, let's go back to ribbon workbench. This is ribbon workbench. So here you have an option to add a parameter. Click on add parameter and you need to select CRM parameter because I wanted to pass form context as a parameter. So that is why I have to select CRM parameter. CRM parameter and the value is, and value you can so you have different types of CRM parameters, but if you want to pass the form context as a parameter, you need to select primary control. Okay, so there is an option called primary control. So if you select this as a parameter, then it will pass a form context. It will pass a form context as a parameter. So you need to select parameter as CRM parameter and the type is primary control. So now I added a command. This command has ID. This is the ID of the command. And this command, I added a JavaScript action. From this particular file, I am calling this particular JavaScript function and I am passing primary control as a parameter because I want form context as a parameter. Okay, so now you have a button. So this is a button and you have a command, this one. But these are separated. See, button is separate, command is separate. You need to join them. You need to join the command to a specific button. Click on the button. When you click on the button, see it is expecting a command. So there is no command attached to this particular button. So you need to select the command here. So select the drop down and this is the command that we created just now. Select this command. So to this particular button, I am calling this particular command. So when somebody clicks on this particular button, this command will be executed. When I click on this particular approve button, this command will be executed. In this command, we are calling a JavaScript, and that JavaScript will update the status of the claim to approve. Okay, now we are done. So we need to publish it. Okay, now we will publish it and we will see the result. Okay, let's click on publish. See, when I click on publish, what it is saying, when I click on publish, let me maximize it. When I click on publish, what it is saying, do you really want to publish? Make sure you take the backup of the existing solution. Make sure you take the backup of your existing solution. See, when you try to publish your solution, when you try to publish an entity, see, this is claim entity, right? So on claim entity in form ribbon, we made the changes and we are publishing it. See, when you are publishing, you need to take the backup of this particular entity. Okay, so we are publishing the claim entity, so you need to take the backup of claim entity. Why we need to take the backup of claim entity before publish? Because if something goes wrong, see, when I start publishing it, when I click OK without taking the backup, if something goes wrong in the publishing, then your entity will be corrupted. Okay, so when you publish it, system is asking you, or system is telling you to take the backup of the current entity first, current solution first. So we loaded which solution? I loaded claim ribbon changes solution. So that solution backup you need to take it. If you don't have the backup, if something goes wrong in the publishing, then your entities will be corrupted. So that is why you need to take the backup of the solution first. Okay, let's go to solutions. So this is the solutions, and this is the entity that this is the solution that I used. Claim ribbon changes. This is the solution that I loaded into my ribbon workbench. So now I select this particular solution. When I select this particular solution, select this particular solution, take the backup. How to take the backup? Click on export. So click next, 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 and you need to take the solution as unmanaged. Okay, package type should be unmanaged. Export. Now I exported my solution. When I exported this solution, zip file will be downloaded. I'll show you. See, it is down, it is getting downloaded. See, it is done. See, this is the solution that I exported. When I click on downloads, you can see claim ribbon changes. This is the name of the solution, claim ribbon changes, and this is the version. So now I took the backup of the current solution. This is my current solution, which I loaded into ribbon workbench, and I took the backup of this particular solution before publishing ribbon changes. Okay, now I have the backup. Let's say if I publish it now, if something goes wrong, nothing will happen because I have a backup, right? I can re-import this backup into CRM again so that nothing will be lost. Okay, since I have the backup, if something happens in the publishing, then I can re-import the solution into CRM. How can we re-import? So you can simply go to solutions, you can select import option, and you can choose file, and you can select this particular file, click open, and then start import. When you import it, so the same changes before publish will be coming. Okay, so that is why you need to take the backup of the solution first when you are publishing a ribbon changes. Okay, now I took the backup. I can click OK to publish. So now it is publishing the changes. It will take few minutes, I think 1 or 2 minutes. Let's wait. Now it is importing the solution. Okay, now the publish is done. Okay, now we publish the changes. Let's go back to the entity and refresh. This is our entity. Let's refresh this particular page. Hmm. Now, are you able to see the button right now?
Yes, sir.
You can see approve button. Let's click on this button and you observe this field called status of claim. I'm clicking on this. So when I click on this, what is happening? The
Updated to status.
status of claim got updated to approve.
Yep.
Okay. So if you go to any entity, sorry, any other record, let's open this record. Okay, let's refresh again. Okay, fine, leave it. Now you can see the button. Click on this button. See the status of claim got approved. Okay, so this is unsaved actually. So you also need to write a save event. See, in the JavaScript, you also need to save the form because see here it is showing like unsaved changes. So when we click on this, we are updating this, but we are not saving the form. We also need to save the form. Okay, how to save the form using JavaScript? You can simply type mscrmjs save form, save form, enter. Okay, so you have this is the method form context dot data dot save. So this statement also you have to write it here, semicolon. That's it. This is your JavaScript. Okay, so since I modified the JavaScript, copy this JavaScript, go to the file. Where do we have the JavaScript? Go to the solution, web resources. So this is your climb.js. Open this climb.js text editor. Okay, so here we have written the code. Remove this code, paste the new code. Okay, so let's click OK, save it, publish it. Now we are publishing the changes. Now you no need to externally save. When you click on it, automatically it will save. Okay, you will not see this unsaved changes. Okay, let's refresh this particular page, control function F5. Okay, so now you can see you have a button called approve, and the status of climb is empty. Click on this. Okay, required field must be filled in. Okay, contact is not selected. Okay, so let's click approve. See, now you are not able to see unsaved changes. When I click on it, it's simply updated. You can go to any other client. Let's open this client. Okay, it is already approved. Let's open this. Okay, see, it is not approved. If I want to approve, okay, contact is empty first. So let's select the contacts and okay, see, now it is not approved. Okay, so let's click on approve. When I click on approve, status of claim approved, and there is no unsaved changes. Now we are saving the form using form context.data.save. This will save the form. This will save the record. Okay, so this is how you can add a button, and you can add a simple command to that particular button. Okay, tomorrow also we will discuss about the ribbon customizations only. Tomorrow we will see the display rules and enable rules, how to hide and show a button based on a condition, or how to show a button based on a security rule. That we will see tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow also we will have this, we will have the class. Okay, please try to join. Okay,
Okay.
so with this, yeah, so with this we are done for the today's session. In case if you have any open questions, you can raise it.
Sir,